Hello and welcome back to the next episode. Now, we are in a little bit of a consolidation phase, or rather progressing phase. We need to wait for global technologies and we need more mission control to do anything. So I've been looking around between episodes what we actually can do in regards to expansion, controlling on Earth, but also in space. Now we need to take control of this arrival economics here if we can. We pretty much have secured great nations, which we'll be finishing up probably in this episode, and then also arrival economics in this episode, and also all these things here where we are going to pick follow-up projects. But most importantly here, for the mission control problem, so we do have a little bit of mission control left here in Germany, 7 actually, and then 2 here in the European Union. And actually, when Germany is finished, we are going to do a little bit of funding here, and then we are going to fold it back into France, or rather the European Union. And now the question is, can we expand this one? I'm looking actually at Spain. That might be a target where we take the executive, then we cancel the alliances, and then we just militarily conquer Spain into the European Union. We do have 2 armies with Russia, 3 that on the Nordic Union, 4. That should be fine. That's something I'm currently contemplating to do, because we would get 6 mission control here, plus potentially 3 that can be made here, and then it would consolidate the power here significantly, because it's a decent economy. 2,000 trillion 2 trillion GDP basically, to the 2 times 4 that we currently have here. Also, what I was checking around is actually, when do we transform from 3 control points into 4 control points? And I found out that Nordic Federation here is relatively close to a 4th control point. And that the threshold for this is around 2,400 GDP, billion GDP. So we are going to push heavily into economy here now. A little bit into government to get us to 10 finally. A little bit of funding just to keep it going. But we want to get to 2,400 here relatively soon, because when we go up 1 here in the control points, funding will also go up 1 per year. And that's quite a significant boost in funding from 13 to 14 per year, which I want to, well, make use of as long as we have it. However, what we are not going to keep is actually Siberia. To free up some control points and make the Spanish expedition and also America somehow work, we need to free up some points. And actually, I'm going to fold back Siberia into the Union here. So that's going to be something I'm going to do in the next mission phases here eventually, and then we move onwards from there. Because we are going to keep Germany around for a while, and then we just do boost here. Not boost, but funding here for a while. Because we also get 14 per year here, which is slightly better than the 13 we get here. But in the end, it doesn't really matter where we do funding. Most importantly, it's that we are making mission control. It also provides us with a little bit of money if it's unassigned or unused mission control, but we are going to use all the mission control we can get. Also, of course, our nanofactories are going to come online relatively soon. I also contemplate to take over Iceland finally. We would need to purge it and then cancel the alliance and then naval invade it, but we only have 2 armies. I'm not 100% sure how quickly we could conquer this one, and if we actually want to. But the peaceful way is definitely out of the question, because of the cooldowns. They are way too long, and we would get purged eventually, which we don't want to waste time on. Yeah, with that, I'm just going to continue. First priority is getting arrival economics under our control here. Well, we progressed until September already, and we have found a servant again and turned him to our cause. Therefore, we finally can see the servants again. Let's actually check them out. So we tried to push them below 400 control points last time. And I do think that I want to go through them again and, well, let's say, help them out a bit. Alien technology. Maybe we want to reset this a bit. Just to delay them a bit. Yeah, that might be a thing. So basically, if we can slow down the servant, that is a good idea. Meanwhile, there have been 1 or 2 smaller fights in between with like ships at Mars and Earth, I think. That's like patrol ships, escorts, and something very small things, which died to our rockets. Now we are, as discussed earlier, invading Spain now, taking it over. I merged in Siberia again. And also I slowed down on the economic investment here in the Nordic Federation instead of funding, because I really want to get rid of our money problems here. But I also pushed more into funding here in the potential caliphate countries, which is going to be spawning relatively soonish. So we are, where are we currently? Yeah, 2/3 done roughly. So it will be done next year, and then we can make the caliphate there. We are not pushing it, of course, because we don't have the urgency there. Instead, we are pushing global tax here. I was able to grab the technology that was up there, so that went into international development. And I was able to pick quantum computing here for the Great Nations tech. So slowly but surely we are on the right track here. So this one will unlock research campus. That's going to be useful. And of course we want to get into the directed space research, which is more important for the beta stations. These actually have priority over research campuses, just because we get more from them. Yeah, so basically we continue progressing here now. And in regards to alien fleets, we still have the 7-ship fleet, which is flying towards Mars. And actually we might want to build a little bit more ships now. The no water escort is doing its job actually. So, oh, we also have the the monitors are coming. What is mission control saying? 30. Yeah, I think I want to have. Let's see. Where are we currently at Mars? We do have 12 and 4, so 16 plus the 3 which are coming up. Do we want to add? We don't really have volatiles currently. Oh. Yeah, maybe we can't. Or we just do a little bit of the no water classes here. Only 1Cs actually, because they use less volatiles here, but more water, which we now have abundantly again. Yeah, let's just build 3 more of these escorts here. No, that's the wrong one. 1C. Low mass orbit, there we go. And actually what we're also going to do, we already took 1 base on Sirius, Montezuma base, from the Protectorate. And I'm considering to take 1 more here from, even though it will cost us upkeep. Yeah, let's do it actually. Let's grab 1 more station here. Oh, wait a second, we maybe should... Ah, no, it's too late. I forgot to check which was the better one. Probably we are getting the worst one. For sure. Yes, China also declared war. Which is funny, but I think we are without problem here. Join Mars again. Yeah. Let's wait for the station to be grabbed. There we go. Now we can manage it. And we lost basically all the power supply. We don't necessarily need new skunk works here. So in this regard, I don't want to make them. Instead we want, of course, a farm. We don't need the point defenses here. Instead, I want one nanofactory here. Maybe something like a military lab. Rebuild this one. An efficient part, we don't need to. So we are currently at 170 or 26, okay. Former skunk work. Let's actually make one more nanofactory. So we do need another fission reactor array. What else? How about one operation center? We have to start eventually. We have to start eventually on this. Now we have 200 energy left. No, 200, not 50. Roughly 50. Could we... Yep. Now this is our new base here. Awesome. Of course, it's not operational right now. Just due to the fact that it doesn't have energy.
Recon complete.
Yeah, and we are going to just conquer stuff here and expand in the limits of 500 control points, because we don't want to go further ahead than the other factions due to the hate mechanic. We don't want to get targeted even worse. So taking out Spain will drop us again. I'm thinking to take over Belgium Luxembourg next, but let's see. Yeah, so let's keep going here. We were able to sneak in another global tech, which is carbon nanotube. That was a very cheap one, 3.5k. And the big question now is, where do we want to go? Now we do have quantum computing queued up, and we can afterwards do encryption, for example. And now the big question is, can we maybe start going into the direction of antimatter, basically, which would be antimatter containment. I mean, we have mercury, so we need to use it, for which we would need next so advanced hydrogen containment, superconducting magnets, magnetic force manipulation we have done. Advanced superconductors would be the next one. Supercapacitors is anyway useful if we want to get to arc lasers next. Therefore, that's a good idea. And the superconducting magnets also unlocks the tin droplet radiator, which is a really good, radiator. Yeah, so basically we are going advanced superconductors into supercapacitors if we can pick it. So we are going to supercapacitors. We also want to go into no, we already unlocked that. Yeah, we want to prepare for the diamondoids actually, but now we are going into, yeah, right, we already have that. We are going into supercapacitors here now. We're also going to push this again, because the chances are very high if we push with 30% of our science output into superconductors that we are going to get it as a global pick.
They won't be causing any more problems.
Whoops. Critical success. Nice. He had an orc, which would have given us an atrocity if it wasn't a critical one. So we took him hostage first.
On our target.
And now we can continue trying to get that alien done, which is around Mexico. The problem is that 2 alien ships have landed, which released new agents, which is super annoying. But well, we can't change it currently. But we can try to take them out again. Meanwhile, we push our loyalties here.
Our efforts didn't have any effect.
And... Nordic Union? Really? Ah, we didn't protect it again. That's our mistake here. I thought I refreshed that, but maybe it ran out relatively early. Yeah, the alien the alien counselors are all in the Americas, actually. Okay, I have to take this one back. Yep. Urgently. Ah, not urgently. It's an Arab Emirates. It's not that important. Basically, we have a lot of stuff here. We have a megafauna here. We do have... Ah, they killed both. There were 2 here. Quite funny. And we are repairing our armies currently before we go back into Madrid. So let's jump forward a bit until we have reached the annexation of Spain, or unless something else is happening. Okay, here we are, and we have finished advanced superconductors as the next global tech, which we picked, so we can continue here. And I do think we want to... We don't need anything like this from... Right? Iconic dust radiator, electrostatic plasma confinement. Where does this one lead? Particle beams. We might want to have particle beams eventually. Electronics. Advanced fission systems. We need it for antimatter. Mass production? Really? Particle beams. Apparently, we need that for the... You know what? Let's get it out of the way then. So a vacuum electric static principles. We're going to push it hard. How much is our bonus on energy? We can still use 15 from HEPS actually.
Making contact.
We are trying to bribe the...
Selfishness from every port, but so long as you don't stand in our way, we good.
How about some boost? No, not so much. Some metals, like 250? 500? No. They don't like this either. What else could we provide them? 25 influence maybe? Or 50? Not either. Some fizzles maybe? Weird. Oh, maybe some boost actually. Ah, that might be a thing. Yeah. 75. Yeah, we are going to try to bribe them because we are taking their stuff. Here we go. And we are actually going to do exactly what I was just talking about. So we are going to fission reactor arrays, and then we are going to need energy labs here. Energy labs, energy labs. We also need a farm. Yeah, we're going to put that here. There's more energy. Yeah, so we can just replace everything with energy labs here. And will that be enough to provide us with the remaining science bonus? So each is 2.5%. So that's 5, 10, 15. Yeah, that will bring us above the 50% threshold for energy research. The biggest benefit we currently have actually is that we have 57% already from orcs, which is really much. So that's really nice. Yeah, and everybody is going to Madrid now.
Target in a secure location.
Yep, the next servant. We are going to walk through them as much as we can. And now let's finish this job here.
The less we burn, the longer we will survive. And the less we depend upon burning our natural resources,
Okay,
the
and
fewer territorial conflicts we will suffer. It
Ross
is forever
Protectorate?
we will...
Public sentiment
Really?
is increasingly with us.
And they picked super alloys. Oh, come on. I mean, it's fine. We are going to push this 5k. That's in our interest anyway. But that's not what I was expecting, basically. Okay, and now before we wrap up this episode here, let's have a look at the incoming fleets. Because that's relatively interesting. Conic Dust, we don't need this one. Okay, let's finish up this mission phase here.
Recon complete.
We are taking so much damage here. Really? Okay, we are going to take this point back here. Maybe the filament radiator. Okay, so let's first of all, let's make sure that we get this point back.
Applying pressure on their people. Where do you need me?
Standing by for orders.
What? No, that's the wrong person.
Standing by.
So in the next episode, we are going to just take this point back. Well,
At your service.
now, fleets. We do have something flying to Ganymede. Ooh, they are forming a new fleet here. And they will be sending that somewhere. There are some small things coming towards Earth. A destroyer, whatever that is going to do. The big fleet is still here. But we have a new arrival. With 12 ships here and 7 here. A lot of gunships. 1 destroyer. This means that we actually need stuff that can defeat the gunships because they most likely have a laser. It's not great. This one, destroyers, escort gunships. Yeah, I do think that we need to make more of our laser monitors. I already started building some more ships on Mercury because 1 single escort is flying towards Mercury. We don't like this. But basically we need more laser monitors here on Earth. We can afford this, so let's build them. And probably just more behind this. I wish we could get a better laser until then. But that's relatively unlikely. How much time do we have left? 12 ships arriving January 31. No, we will not be able to get arc lasers in time. No. Therefore, we are locked down on the technology that we currently have. However, our Earth fleet is really big. It's Stone Age compared to whatever the aliens have, but it's relatively big. 24 ships, that's nice. We do, however, have still an MC problem here. With the capture of the next base, we're paying a bit more for the mines that we currently have. But we also have 28 mission control and ships under construction, which is really a lot. And we don't really have space to put more MC on. And we also have some MC under construction too. But that's not much. So basically, between episodes I have to consider maybe making some operation centers somewhere. So that they can go online in like half a year. Which would be fine in time for the large fleets that will be coming towards us. Of course, we're also going to get a bit more mission control here from Spain. So they have a potential of 9 actually. We get only 5 from it, so there is a potential 4 additional mission control that we can get here. And We also would like to get into Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, which would be an additional 9. That should be possible within the time frame. Will that be enough? I doubt it. And Russia here, or Eurasian Union, is also almost maxed out, which is a problem. Yeah. We need to break something which has huge amounts of mission control. Probably Italy here with 13. Or United Kingdom with 15. One of these has to fall in our hands there. Potentially rather Italy, because we want to weaken the protectorate further. And not the resistance, but well, we can't pick everything. So let's see next episode what exactly will play out and how we can manage this. Therefore, see you in the next episode.